Well, I think that was a great start to the 2022 season. Very windy morning, actually. I didn't know how the horses would be. You know, I know deep down everybody wants to see them come out and go 28 and 27 on the end of it. It's just not going to happen, especially first time to the track for a lot of these horses. Now, it's not the first time here for our horses, but still, they're growing up, they're learning, and it takes time. So I think throughout the day the wind dissipated a little bit, but it was kind of a little brisk and a little cool this morning, which only made me more happy when I remembered how, when I look back at these races. Now I'm seeing the lines here for the first time. You know, we're standing there getting ready to go out, and I said, James, you go with leaps and bounds. See how she is? He said, yeah, she was good. He said, you know, I'd like to see her sprint by, but this is a filly that's gradually going to get better. I'm certain of that. She's got a decent attitude. She's got some pop. She's got some speed. And she's got lots of pedigree behind her. And it seems like all the bar hoppings we've had so far, they come on in waves almost, right? So I know that leaps and bounds, you know, 2, 1, and 4, 28 and 4 is a really good quarter over that track. But really, I guess the track was good. I shouldn't say over that track. It was fantastic. But in this weather, I thought that leaps and bounds. So the first qualifier was good for us. She was the only one in the first qualifier. Our next one was the third. Now, I didn't really want to put Horn Player on the front. She's a big, strong filly, but I'd like to see her from off the pace a little bit more. But we're going none, right? This happens all the time with the baby races. First time off the farm, you know, everybody just seems to walk them along. And Horn Player was getting a little. She was good coming out of the gate. Right? I could have been able to settle if we were going 29 and 3, 29 and 4, but they were going to go 32 seconds if I don't push forward. So Horn Player ended up crossing over to the front. That put Una Madonna in about the, well, let me look here, 4-hole. Got away fourth. James said Una Madonna was on the right line. Didn't seem to say, she said she doesn't seem off anywhere. She seemed great that way, just biting the right line. We're going to get her mouth checked. And it was only after that Johnny walked up and he said, you know, James said about Una, he said, you warmed her up open house day and she was on the right line hard, and you took the head pull and took the head pull off her, put a jawbreaker and a line pull on her. I said, I was wondering how that jawbreaker got on. I forgot all about that. And he said, yeah. He said, that's exactly what happened. So we will get her mouth checked. If we got to make a little changement and adjustment with her gear, that's fine. But she looked very, very good, and Horn Player was super strong finishing up. I'm not going to cut her loose and empty her out in the qualifier here in her first qualifier. She did everything perfectly. Both these fillies did. So we were 3 for 3 in the books heading into the rest of the day. I couldn't foresee any three of those horses. Now, I could have saw leaps and bounds shooting through for the win, but I think that will take time. That'll take place down the road. But so far, 3 for 3. Super happy. We didn't have anybody in the fourth. Fifth set. Now, this was a little bit of a bittersweet qualifier. Mo Power Baby was awesome, and she's not usually known for her front-end prowess. She was very, very good today on the front end. I know it was quite windy, especially for that qualifier. For her to come 29 and 4, do it easy with the earplugs in, was impressive. The only downside of that entire qualifier was that Cutie Cumber looked rather ordinary. And I said to Amy, I hadn't talked to James about it yet. I said to Amy, enough. Then we're not going with this filly if she isn't good. Is this guy really driving a remote control? Look at this idiot. You guys see this? This guy's got a remote control car on the side of the road. Some people are so stupid. I was wondering where all the traffic came from. The 401 is a parking lot, both ways. Whoa. That sucks. I'm not going on the 401 today. And with all the traffic coming this way, I don't know what's going on. Must be an accident. Both ways. Anyway, Mo Power Baby, perfect, awesome. I'll talk to Ross Leonard about her later on today. That's likely where she's going in Indiana. Super happy about the way that filly looked. And Cutie Cumber was okay. If this was an ordinary filly, I'd be like, yeah, you know, that's a good foundation start for her. No, it wasn't. This filly is, when I talk about Cutie Cumber, this is one of the best fillies we had all year. And it wasn't like when the speed hit her in April and May, she started to fizzle out. She was awesome right up until open house day. It wasn't until we got her back off after open house day where I can honestly say she seemed a little rather ordinary, a little flat. Nothing really seen, nothing popped out in her blood. We had her to the vet. There was nothing really seen or nothing that popped out in her, nothing that popped out on the veterinarian examination. So I don't really know what to say I don't really know why Cutie Cumber's a little ordinary, but I can tell you this. I know we've had horses, and one in particular went through the same transition last year, and that was 3 Point, right? And I think I will throw that name out. I think I will, because Cutie Cumber was one of our best fillies and just seemed present today. This is exactly what this colt did. Different attitude, different work ethic. 3 Point was a bit of a goof and could be a little ornery, a little stupid, and a little rude sometimes, and he just matured. Whereas Cutie Cumber just seems like fifth gear is not available. That's how it seems with Cutie Cumber right now. It doesn't seem like lameness, doesn't seem like sickness, there doesn't seem to be anything going on out of the ordinary. Could it be a growth spurt? I feel when I say that out loud that I'm grasping. Oh, it could be a growth spurt. That's what people say when they don't know. And quite frankly, I don't know. I don't know what was on. But I can tell you one thing. I'm not pushing her. So she's definitely not going to New York for a while. I'm going to keep a very close eye on Cutie Cumber. Probably will not go back and school her again until I feel. And when you see her after the race, like after the mile, the horses are jumping around, playing around. Cutie's kind of got her head hung. Something's up. Something's up with her, and I don't know what it is. But we won't be pushing Cutie Cumber. If she even goes out in the field for a couple of weeks, then that's what will happen. She is not going to Saratoga. She will not be ready for Buffalo, Batavia, or whatever's coming next. She's going to stay right here until she is 100%. This is not a regional filly. This was a filly that I felt had bigger fish to fry, had a very bright future. Something happened over the last 3 weeks. There's nothing catastrophic. She doesn't look lame. You're like, oh, is she breaking a bone? Doesn't look like anything's wrong with her. She just isn't present the way we need her to be. So we're just going to take our time. Remember, I tell you guys, when the horses are talking, you better listen. Something's up with her. I'm just going to take my time with Cutie Cumber for the next little bit. Sixth race, I thought I was really mad. 34 seconds to the quarter. Like, this is what happens sometimes. You know, who was cutting that race out? Sylvain moved to the front. Bob McClure. 34 flat, Bob. Really? Come on. I don't know, maybe his horse wasn't comfortable. I have no idea. I was sitting fourth. I could have moved her to the front. Anyway, I got caught up over to the half in 4 and 3, so I'm there in 6.5 back, 7, half in 106. And I'm fighting with her. We got a jawbreaker on her. She's first time to the track, I think. No, she was here open house day, but still very green. I told Debbie, no more jawbreaker. Let her hobbles out a little bit. We're going to get a better set of hobbles on her. I think you're going to see a much better filly come here next week. I'm going to do that. A much better filly come here next week than was present here today. And the line is ominous, right? 2, 5, and 3, 29 and 3. You're like, who cares? Well, I can tell you one thing. This filly does have some pop. She can go. I'm going to instruct them, or I will train her up hard on Tuesday. She will come back Friday again next week, and I expect a 1:58 out of this filly. She does have talent. She does have speed, but this didn't do her any good today. Didn't do her any good at all today. Tactical Mounds. You know what? Here's a horse getting the hobbles. I could get her around, but it was a chore, right? Knowing trotters and knowing how important it is not to break Rule 1. I got Tactical Mounds around. I got her up in 5th gear down the backstretch. A little goofy at the gate, a little goofy coming into the gate. You know, not really a racing situation. I was gapped 3 lengths. I moved her getting into the last turn and let her get up into 5th gear and then let her trot down the lane. It was quite windy. I got to be honest, it was quite windy in that Blake McIntosh's filly. Daisy Day was good. I just let Tactical Mounds do her work. I come off the track. I said hobbles this week on this filly. So Tactical Mounds going to get a set of pants on her. Cunning Connie, half in 101 and 4, mile in 2, 3 and 2, and an okay mile. She's better when you can get her right up on the rig and right up in behind somebody on their helmet when they're gapping. You know, and James isn't stupid. They went the second quarter in 29 and 1, and he was like, I'm just going to stay back here. She just falls asleep. She doesn't like that. She's more of a, you know, she's an okay filly, but you got to have her right on her toes. I'll go with Cunning Connie next week, too. She's probably ready for a 1:59 or 2 minutes next week. Was that our last one of the day? It was. That was our last one of the day. Now, we had a couple of schoolers. We schooled Marshall Zukov. Was very good today. Very happy with Marshall Zukov. Mile in 2-2. He can qualify next week. And then I went with Sippin' on My Shine. Now, all my partners on Sippin' on My Shine, pay attention to what I'm going to tell you. Sipping on my shine, I think, is dumb. I've said this many, many times. I'm trying to articulate it the best I can. If like a butterfly flew in front of him, be like, oh, look at that. And he would just run away with you. He's a big, powerful, strong horse, but a bit of a mental midget. And that's just him. There's nothing wrong with that. In maturity, he is as immature mentally as an infant. Just really, really immature colt. Physically, he looks like a football player. He looks beautiful. But mentally, he's got a ton of work to do. I'm just going to kick this guy out of the field. I trained him in 2.5 at the farm. Like, this speed is no issue. But intelligence is a real problem. We're going to have to get him a tutor, I think. He just needs to go out in the field, grow up. So I think we'll turn out. I think this is a colt that could do us some real good in the fall. So I'm going to turn out Sipping on My Shine for a couple of months and let him grow up mentally. Physically, he looks like an Adonis. Mentally, in fact, physically, he looks as good as any horse we have. Maybe the best looking horse we have. As far as big and strong and stout looking. But if you just look inside his cranium, I think there's just some squirrels playing cards in there. Like he just is completely oblivious to the universe around him. So just need to let him grow up a little bit. I think we could have a nice horse on our hands. I don't know. I'm not going to go to bat for him on what he can do or what he will do, because there is a mental component to being a racehorse. But I haven't seen one not get it yet. Some of them are really slow. This guy might be the slowest mentally, but I'm sure he'll get there eventually. Beautiful horse when he's trotting. And the fact that he struggles a bit in the corners is a little concerning to me. Makes me believe that maybe his knees are wide open, maybe his stifles are weak. That would be an easy, convincing argument to have with me. This is a giant of an animal. He needs to be mentally ready to go, understanding his work, and physically mature. I don't think that's today or tomorrow. I think that's down the road a little bit. So I'm going to kick him out for the summer, bring him back in early fall. There's just no need to do it. If you can make an argument why we shouldn't, I'm all ears. I don't see it, because we got to go to Ohio and race against horses that are ready to go, and he's not. So just give him some time, let him grow up, be a nice horse. We're always looking for nice horses for the fall, and this could be another one for us. So Sipping on My Shine is going out to the field ASAP. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. We got a ton going tomorrow. I would say a pretty good day. Everybody got qualified today, I believe. Well, Chocolate for Lunch, not technically. She got her work done. She'll be back next week, but everybody had a flat line. Everybody did their work today. Everybody got qualified, so to speak. She's got to work on some of the horses in Ohio, so I'll be in Ohio next week again for that day. I'll be back here for qualifying day here. Next week, I'll go with a different grouping of horses. You're going to see Tactical Mounds get the hobbles on for the first time this week, and that's just because I want to help her, right? She just wants to come forward and attack all the time, but she isn't equipped just yet. She'll brush that outside knee, she'll brush her hind shins. I want to get those bell boots off her, get those toe weights off her, get the trotting hobbles on her, and work with her all week. And I think that's what we have to do moving forward. She's there, she's right there. Just a little more work. But again, she falls into that same Sir Strong, landing pad, landing strip, those horses that were sick, and just a little, they do not have the same amount. This filly stood in the stall with her knees ripped open, stitched up for an entire month. They do not have the same amount of work in them, so we just need, there's nothing wrong with coming and qualifying and schooling. You just got to give them a little more time. And I think that's what we're going to do with Tactical Mounds, landing strip, landing pad, Sir Strong. Just give them a little more time. Mentally, they're there. And that's a big, we just talked about that with Sipping on My Shine. Quite the opposite. These horses have figured it out. Just got to help them put it all together. Help them tie it all together in a nice bow. So with that, I'll let you guys go. A great day so far. What do we got? I want to talk to, we have horses racing today. I'm going to sit home, have a nice little cold drink, and watch some Lucky action today. Procrastinator, yes, Sweet on Pete, Century Invictus. A great lineup for this afternoon. Can't wait to watch it all unfold. I will talk to you all very soon. A great day here in Campbellville, Ontario.